Greetings. I think this is going to be part one of a two-part video, which is actually going to put some very strange ingredients together. It's partly an answer to something Matt asked about, come on, give us your ideas on these giant buildings. It ties in to what John Levi has shown on his wonderful video today. And I was thinking, how can I do this and keep it in some sort of order? Because I think you're going to be quite surprised what is going to be covered with this. So we'll keep it simple. I'm sure you've all heard the saying about one in the hand is worth two in the bush. Well, it's not. It's one in the hand is worth three in the Kate bush. And I'm going to start with three songs by Kate Bush. It's this silver thread that runs through everything. There's a song that came into my mind. Ironically, it's not the line sung by Kate Bush, it was the line sung by her brother Paddy Bush, who does the backing vocals on a lot of these songs. So the song ostensibly is about a composer called Frederick Delius, and the song is called Delius' Song of Summer. Well, straight away I thought Delius. Just playing about with the name, because as has been shown so many times, these characters in history, even in recent history, how much do we really know to be true? This is the thing, always ask yourself this. How much do you know to be 100% absolute truth? So to the song, Delius' Song of Summer. Oh, he's a moody old man, song of summer in his hand. And then it repeats, in his hand, in his hand. The next verse bizarrely goes into Latin, so you've got Delius amat, syphilis deus genius. Well, the story about Frederick Delius, if I remember rightly, is he did die of syphilis. But then we come on to the important bit, the bit that came into the mind earlier. And it's like the chorus of this song. To be sung of a summer. It doesn't say which summer, it just says to be sung of a summer. Night on the water. Ooh, on the water. Now here's the bit. Paddy Bush's response is ta. And I thought, very interesting. Maybe a Tartarian reference there. Maybe a clue that whatever happened, maybe it's the biblical flood that's being referenced in this. So, on to the next song, Cloudbusting. You probably remember this song had Donald Sutherland, and it's based on the story, I can't remember the inventor's name, who came up with a rainmaking machine, who lived in a place called Organon, which explains the first line, I still dream of Organon, but it's also a reference to Organite. I wake up crying, you're making rain. And you're just in reach when you and sleep escape me. I'll just read this through and then I'll give you a breakdown of what I'm seeing from this. And you're just in reach when you and sleep escape me. You're like my yo-yo that glowed in the dark. Who made it special, made it dangerous. So I bury it and forget. But every time it rains, you're here in my head, like the sun coming out. Oh, I just know that something good is going to happen. And I don't know when, but just saying it could make it happen. On top of the world, looking over the edge. Now on the karaoke version it says looking over the edge, not the edge, which I thought was interesting. You could see them coming out. You look too small in the big black car to be a threat to the men in power. I hid my yo-yo in the garden. I can't hide you from the government. Oh God, Daddy, I won't forget. Well, what do we make of this song? Well, very interesting indeed. So I'll just read through it here. So, I still dream of Organon. Well, it's orgonite, which is connected with crystal and memory. I would say that is a reference to the pineal gland. I wake up crying, you're making rain. Again, I think we've got some sort of flood reference, washing away the past. And you're just in reach when you and sleep escape me. Just in reach. Well, what if it is the pineal gland? Just a side note here, if we go with, as I've said before, look at the outline of God in the painting in the Sistine Chapel on the ceiling. God in that is depicted as being within a pineal gland. It is also referenced when Jacob the dreamer, because where do dreams happen, ascends to a place called pineal. Now the next verse of the song, you're like my yo-yo that glowed in the dark. Who made it special? Well, you're like my yo-yo. It's the Christ consciousness rising and falling that glowed in the dark. Well, it's the place of the sun. It's in the dark. Oh, black hole sun, won't you come? But there's also the reference of the knowledge of good and evil now coming up. When made it special, and I couldn't help noticing special, root word probably species. So the yo-yo that glowed in the dark, that made it species, it's the Christ consciousness within all of us, generic man. But then it says, made it dangerous, so I bury it and forget. And where is it said that God is buried? In Golgotha, which is the skull. But every time it rains, you're here in my head. It's telling you right there. Like the sun coming out. Is it not the sun and the third eye, the crown? I just know that something good is going to happen. Well, I can testify to that. Ever since we've had that blood moon, what was it, September of 2016 or 17? I can't even remember which year, but it was the marker for the start of this 7 years of hell, which will go on till March of 2024. I know that something good is going to happen. I feel it here. But I don't know when. Nobody knows the time. Nobody knows the time except the Father, is the saying. But just saying it could even make it happen, because as Neville Goddard has said in many a lecture, and God is your own human, wonderful imagination. You are a co-creator. So just by saying it could make it happen. It's also a clue. So if you're going to be talking about that thing between 4F and 6H and think we're all going to be irradiated, this is again comes back to that saying, be careful what you say, because sound is a vibration. It creates. On top of the world, looking over the edge, I think you can get a pretty good idea of that. Edge, no ledge, knowledge. You could see them coming. You look too small in the big back car to be a threat to the men in power. Well, do you not feel like you are David against Goliath, against this system? Do you not feel too small? I hid my yo-yo in the garden. Well, for the yo-yo, the thing that goes up and down, you hide it in the garden. It's within the body where the 4 rivers of the Garden of Eden are. That's your saliva, your blood, your urine, and your reproductive fluids, shall we say. Saliva is salvation. I can't hide you from the government. Well, the physical body, the outer man, no. But the inner spirit, we can all hide. We can all go out there in various disguises and things and blend in. But I'm not advocating you do that either. But I'm saying this is the Esau and Jacob, the inner and the outer man being shown here. And the end of this song, I can't hide you from the government. Oh God, Daddy, I won't forget. Oh God, well, what is Daddy? Daddy is Father. Oh God, Father, I won't forget. Is that not what we're trying to do? Remember who we are? Remind ourselves? And the trilogy of these, piece of paper there, trilogy of these Kate Bush songs, we'll go on to another one called Under Ice. It's a lovely, like, sawing motion with the music. It's a zud, zud, doo, doo, doo. It's quite sort of menacing and very atmospheric. So the lyrics to this song go, it's wonderful, everywhere, so white, the river has frozen over, not a soul on the ice, only me, skating fast. I'm speeding past trees, leaving little lines in the ice, cutting out little lines in the ice, splitting sound, silver hills, spitting snow. There's something moving under the ice, moving under ice through water, trying to get out of the cold water. It's me. I think, again, we have a reference to, an allegorical reference to what is going on with inside. Cloud busting, well, a cloud creates a veil, so we want to bust that, so we can raise this Christ consciousness up into the heavens, because the way to the Father is through the Son. So it is all about this waking ourselves up, as it were, doing the internal work to raise that Christ consciousness. The way to do that, as I've mentioned, is through meditation. The breathing exercise, the transformational breathing, the reoxygenating yourself, you're bringing yourself, you're animating yourself, you're bringing yourself back to life with all this. How are we doing for time here? 12 minutes. Yes, I'll leave the other half of this because there's a lot to go through there. So I mean, it's very interesting. The river has frozen over, not a soul on the ice. Well, under ice, if we have waters above, separating the waters below. And I think it's fair to say that the higher you go, the colder it gets. You just look at what high altitude pilots wear, which is rather strange when you consider at ground level that you feel an instant difference between when the sun, you're standing in full sun, and when a cloud goes in front and now you're in shade. You can notice that. I know the argument is going to be, yes, thinner up there and all this nonsense, but you're still getting closer to something that is a huge heat source. If it's as far away as they say it is, I mean, and you can feel the difference this level, surely if you go closer to it, logically, you must feel the heat even greater. But just my ideas, a bit of theorizing, shall we say. So that's a sort of little hint to the etymology that I'm going to be talking about in the second part of this. So we'll leave that there, but suffice to say that this is hard work, trying to... Hopefully people will begin to see that they are far more than they think they are. You are a spirit within a vessel. You are not your opinions. You are not your ideas. You are, like you're saying here, this is the garment. It's all about the time we can finally take the garment off. And that is the real veil, when we can get out of what are basically prison bars, the rib cage that is keeping us within. If any of you have ever gone through an experience of a twin flame, for example, that sort of magnetic pull where your spirit really just wants to pull out of the body to be with the other. This is what twin souls are expressed as, being one soul that's split into two, that then goes through all these experiences, because this is what all of this is an experience. And so they want to unite and come. It's all about coming back together. It's a greater picture to that, with the whole spiritual growth, the spiritual path, the spiritual message, with all of this about all as one coming together, but in personified individual forms. And it's not going to be long before you will be standing in your power, because it is all this platinum age that is coming about individual sovereignty. I know things seem awful out there, but remember, it is all the external to your internal universe. Where the attention goes, the energy flows. So keep that in mind. Anyway, that's it. We've now extended up to, just over 16 minutes. So I will say, ya ta 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 for now. I always still think of that Delius Song of Summer song with a ta ta ta, just as a recap to that one again. So I will put links in the descriptions to the songs, some with a karaoke version, so you can see all the lyrics, because one or two of these I've took out the repeated verses and lines because it's just pointless. It just makes the video too long, and there's plenty here anyway. May do another song one again soon. I'm in the mood to sing again, but it won't be for the next video, so I will spare your ears. So ta-ta for now.